Zoom who have joined us virtually. We will be taking questions in the room. Why don't we start right down here in front with with Jonathan Tannenwald. Reminder, please make sure that you wait for the microphone so that those on Zoom can hear your questions and also know who's posing the question. Thanks. Right down here in front.
Hi, Steve.
Hi.
Jonathan Tannenwald with Philadelphia Inquirer. How good is this Philly team? Because everybody sees you guys on national TV all the time, knows all the big names, but Philly, as well as they've played, I think a lot of people might watch them tomorrow who haven't seen them a ton this year. You have. How good are they?
We have seen a lot of them. It's a very good team. I think the record of the past 3 seasons speaks for itself. And for those who haven't seen them, they will understand tomorrow and if what the rest of us already know. So it's a very good team. It's a team who's quite dangerous. Any moment in the game can change game, can score goals. They never quit. They work extremely hard. They're very clear in their identity and what they do well. More importantly, what they don't do well. So it's a very well coached team and a team with a strong mentality.
We're going to come over here to the right of the room, Steve, with Katya.
Hi, Steve. Looking back in your first year as head coach, what would you say is the biggest evolution you've seen from this team? And second, what's the status for Giorgio and Gareth?
Everybody's on board. I think the biggest development in this roster and mentality of the group, I think this year is clear that this group likes to win. And we've tried to win every game we take part in. It's something that was important to myself as a player in trying to install into our team. And some points towards the end of preseason, I think we all kind of landed on the same page in regards to how we want to treat this year, found ourselves as a group, and haven't looked back since. And that's something that we are all very proud of at LAFC.
We're going to stay over here, Coach, with Michele.
Hi, Coach. How are you? You never played in MLS. This is literally your first year coaching. Before the season, your expectations, what you thought the league was going to be, did those expectations went far? They came out short. What was your biggest lesson?
Well, my expectations were, I was preparing for USL season with Las Vegas Lights again, to be honest with you. Had finished their roster, was partaking in the MLS roster for LAFC as well. And then obviously things changed pretty quickly. Expectations were absolutely to make the playoffs. That should always be a goal here in LAFC, in LA. How far you can take a team, a lot depends on, do you stay healthy? What does the roster look like? Things gel. And do we get a lot of things right on the fields as far as loading goes and tactical periodization goes? And I think a lot of positive decisions were made for LAFC this season. So yeah, maybe it exceeds expectations, but something we try to install within the players, their mentality and their mindset is to keep going, to always get better and to maximize our potential. And I think we're still doing that.
Hey, Steve, David Goss. Philadelphia is obviously unique, playing those two forwards and playing with the diamond. You have decisions and options at center back between Chiellini and Ibeagha, as we saw in the last game. Is the consideration who affects how Philly plays more, or is it internal of that decision between Giorgio and Sebastian?
It's always both.
Good.
Hey, Coach, over here. Hi. So supposedly, again, LAFC are going to be favorites this year and Philly's underdogs, but it seems a lot more neck and neck. And it feels like LAFC in the past have sort of suffered from excessive praise and being favorites. This season seems different. Can you talk more about that winning mentality and just the temperament of the players?
Sure. I mean, the narrative of Philly always being an underdog is a little self-made. I think supporters see a champion in 20, being in the finals last year and the cup finals this year. I'm not sure that flies anymore. But I think this team is hungry and this team really enjoys winning, enjoys each other's company, enjoys playing well. And just something we've challenged them with on a daily basis and weekly basis is not to settle just for mediocrity and just to play in this league and play a good role in this league. It is to try to play our absolutely best. And I think we saw some of that last week, and we are looking to continue that tomorrow.
We're going to go to the back room with Josh, and then we'll bring that microphone back up forward.
Thank you. Hey, Steve, Josh Gross, the LA Daily News. You mentioned everybody's available. What's Eddie Segura's situation?
Aside from Eddie.
Aside from Eddie. Okay, thank you. Jim talked about how important Daniel Gazdag was, and especially receiving balls in the middle of the field and sort of controlling that, and that was a key matchup for him. Do you see that as well as important to the determining results on Saturday?
Yeah, very important player. He links everything for them. He's creative, but he's also very prolific. A player we have to keep tabs on, much like we did Driussi from Austin last week. And it's a key factor to the game. He's a fantastic player. He's had a great season. He's in a good moment. And players like that can change games like this.
We're going to come up here in front.
Hi, Jonathan Siegel from MLSsoccer.com. Wanted to ask you about Carlos Vela, who's the foundational player of this team. And back in 2017-18, as he comes in, what is this opportunity for him specifically? And what has most struck you about him as a leader on the field, off the field, and just building towards this over the last 5 years for him as a player?
You're going to have to ask Carlos that. But I can tell you what he means to the group. He's our captain, and Carlos is come up in big moments for us this season when we've needed him. And he wants nothing more than to win a championship. And it's also more than just Carlos. There's Latif, who's been here since day one. There's a handful of employees who've been here since day one. And so, and obviously our fans. So for all of those who've been in here since day one, this just means a great deal to them.
Hey, Steve, Tyler Snipes with SBI Soccer. Jim commented on the fact that he's been following you for a long time, and he's, been following, really impressed with the job that you've done here. Curious if that respect is mutual. What's your point of view on how he's gotten to this point to face you in a championship?
Of course, like I said, they've been very successful over the past couple of years with a very clear identity, and that is extremely difficult to do as a manager or coach. It takes discipline, it takes hard work, it takes a vision, not just on his part, but in the front office as well. And so everybody in the organization seems to move in the right direction. It's always hard to comment on somebody's work looking from the outside in, but the few conversations we've had, and also in the immediate past, I think it couldn't happen to a better guy. So he's a great coach, a good person. Nobody speaks poorly of Jim, and I wish him all the best, except for tomorrow, obviously.
Coach, we're going to go down here in front on the left.
Hey, Steve, Gio with LA Soccer Hub. Congratulations on making it here. Just two-part question. I know you've been asked, this is the third time you're going to be asked, is this now the biggest game of your coaching career? And second, you've handled the expectations and then the pressure with this club and obviously the city, I would say really well. Where did that come from, and your demeanor to be able to calm those nerves and be able to meet those expectations and exceed those expectations for LAFC this season in your first year?
It's not up to me whether I've met expectations or not. That's up to others. I think I'm naturally a calm person. That helps. I know myself pretty well at 43 and been in this business a while. I know what I can do and I know what I cannot do. And I felt amongst with the rest of the staff this year that we could get this team moving in a new direction. And I think we've achieved that. To answer your first question, I think the first answer was no. The second was maybe. I'm going to stick with along those lines and say, I hope not.
Staying in the front row.
Hi, Steve. Justin Ruderman, DirecTV Sports. You are often a coach who likes to deflect the praise off to your, other coaches or your players. But after the Western Conference Final, Kellen and Ilie especially were very complimentary of you, making it very clear that this is your team. And that sparked a lot of talk about you potentially taking over the USMNT in the future in the next round for the 2026 World Cup. Is that something that has ever interested you? Are you interested in the national team route at some point in your career?
I'm really focused on LAFC right now, and I appreciate it from Kellen and Ilya. They had a nice fruit basket on their desk the next day. No, this is a business where it's not plannable. It really isn't. I wouldn't have thought I'd be sitting here 2 years ago. I was in cold Bokvedo, just outside of Hanover, mowing my lawn. So it's really difficult to plan things in this industry. What comes next will come next. But right now, myself and the rest of the staff is laser focused at winning the game tomorrow.
Jeff.
Hey, Steve. Jeff Reuter with The Athletic. Good to see you again. When I was out here in April, you had said at one point when we were talking about pressure, quote, pressure is nothing more than just an idea. I don't really think it should change the way we work or make decisions. In some ways, it's made up or superficial. If you don't believe in it, it can't hurt you. As you've gotten through this chase for the Supporters Shield, working through the postseason, coming up to MLS Cup, is it feeling a little more tangible either for you, for the players? And if so, how are you navigating it?
I really believe what I said. So no. Yes, there's more of you in this room. There's more chairs. Maybe there aren't that many chairs normally, but they're full. So I understand the hype, and for some, they will feel more pressure. But it doesn't do any good during the game. And so that mentality, that idea, we share with our players during the 90 minutes. Before and after, everybody is allowed to feel and do what they want. But during the 90 minutes, they need to be focused and get a job done.
We're going to come right down here in the center.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there we go. Any additional questions? Oh, we're going to come. Oh, yes, absolutely. Mike in the middle.
Thank you. Mike Whitehall, Soccer America. Hi, Steve. Are you satisfied with the selection of the referee for tomorrow's game? And what are your hopes or expectations for the officiating approach in the game?
Yes, of course. I don't really have a preference either way. I think the goal of officiating should always be to make it fair and consistent and to not affect the result of a game. So if we don't remember who the referee was tomorrow, he's done a fantastic job, or the team has done a good job.
But if the players are misbehaving, you're going to have to notice the referee, right? Do you think it's right that...
That's purely hypothetical. We don't know what's happening tomorrow. So if we don't know who's reffing tomorrow, they have done a fantastic job.
We're going to come down here in front with Larry.
Hey, Steve. Larry Henry, SBI. Philadelphia obviously was known for their attack, but also known for their strong defensive work, and their great goalkeeper led the league in fewest goals conceded. What makes them so tough to play against and break down? Obviously, a lot of those guys in the back line have played together for a long time now as well.
As a former defender and looking at Marcelo in the back as well, similar attributes as a player. I think at defenders, the game is pretty clear. Black, white, there are rules to follow and rules you don't follow. And watching Philly plays, they're extremely disciplined and they follow the rules, the back four and the three in front of them. And it's a tough nut to crack. The offensive end of the game is decided also in different moments and a little bit of creativity and sometimes chaos and organized chaos, as some like to put it. And so that's not black, white, it's more gray. But defensively, I think Philly does extremely well as they are tactically disciplined throughout 90 minutes and make very few errors and work their ends off. And that's a big difference in this game.
Our last question is going to come over here, Michele.
Hi, Coach, again.
Hi.
You guys are the supporters, leaders, winners, obviously. And the team that you have in front won a lot of individual awards. And that's something that your players have spoken about it. After Austin, Kellen, and Ilya mentioned that Chicho, in their opinion, should have won MVP, and you should have won Coach of the Year. What's the chatter about that in the locker room? Is that serve as an extra motivation for them?
I don't know if it does. It certainly doesn't for me. I really think winning the cup, winning the final, is anything any athlete wants. And individual accolades or trophies or recognitions are truly, truly far, far back. And so winning the cup tomorrow is where our focus is, and that's it.
Thank you. Media, if I could ask you to stay seated. Coach, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you.